Hey there, Ian here, and today I'm bringing you another tutorial for Cinema 4D. Now, recently I uploaded an intro for iDrawing YouTube, which I'll show you now. And some people ask me how I managed to do it with this kind of animation here. So I decided that I'll make a quick tutorial on how to do it. It's really quite simple, and it just took a while to kind of get the settings right, but once you know the theory behind it, it's really quite easy. So obviously the first thing to do is go into Cinema 4D here. Now I'm just going to use the same logo as I did last time, so I'm just going to drag that in, and you should always make sure that you make the position to 0 so it's in the very center of your scene. Now I'm just going to drag in 4 extrude nerves. I'm just going to duplicate that and just put all the paths in here. Next you're just going to want to, I'm just going to fold all of these up. Next you're going to want to put some caps on and make the radius a bit smaller. It depends how big your actual object is for the radius. So this one's actually really small, so I'm having to put the radius down to 0.3, and you can just keep rendering it out until you get what you want. Now, I'm not too bothered about the depth or anything, because this is just a very basic tutorial. Now what you want to do is pretty much make your materials to go on the outside of it now, otherwise it becomes horrible to try and do afterwards. So what you want to do is just get any old material. I'm going to choose this one here, it doesn't really matter, just drag it on and make it whatever. Oh, don't know what just happened there. And just make sure it's on cubic, and I'm gonna have to put that right down. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not bothered at all about the materials, it's all about the animation. So next what you want to do is click on each individual one, and you should have the plugin Thrausi. I don't know how to pronounce it really. Thrausi maybe. It's a free plugin. I'll put the link to it in the description. What this does is basically cuts up your object. So you want to cut them up into quite a lot of sections really, and this can take quite a while. And so you're just going to want to leave this to cut through, and then we're going to cut each individual one up as well. This one I'm cutting up into 300, the rest I'll probably do into 200, and so I'll just come back when I've cut them all up. Okay, so now you have all your objects cut up like I have now. You might notice that the objects, the materials have kind of glitched and they're only on the front here. To do this, what you want to do is go into your, wrong one, go into your fracture object here, and you can see we have a lot of mess with the materials here. So just basically the front one here, this texture is for the inside of the object, so you want to leave that, and all the rest here are for the outside. So just leave this column here and then select the next one and go all the way to the bottom and select, hold down shift and select the very right bottom one here and just click delete. Then highlight all of these, so holding shift, and just get rid of the selection here and it'll all appear back perfectly fine. So what you need to do is just do that with all the rest of your objects here. So just click on the top left one and go to the bottom and select the bottom right, then highlight all of these and just get rid of the selection. and then with the final one as well. So just the top left, go down, and the bottom right. Then select these all, remember to hold shift, and just delete the multiple value there. Okay, now if you selected keep original object, you'll have these 4 objects here. So just holding down command on the Mac, just click on each individual one and press Alt G to just put them into a group, and we can just hide that just at the bottom in case the object didn't cut up nicely. You always have a backup here. Now you might notice that some of these haven't cut up into many pieces here. Ooh. And so you might want to go back into your object here, and it can be quite a lengthy process going through trying to find which one it is which is actually not cut up nicely, and probably be quite near the end. Here we are, so the very end piece, all I'm going to do is put it through again, but only cut it up maybe 30 times. And this way the larger pieces are going to be just a bit smaller, and so it turns out a bit nicer. So I'm just going to delete these here and just make sure all of these are deleted. Right, so this is a lot better now, and the next thing you want to do is just delete these dynamic tabs here, because we really don't want them. And then you need to go into your Thrausi, well, your fracture object, and just drag all of these into one another. So you might just want to go to select children and just drag them up, and then right click, select children, and holding down command just click off the top one, and so you're only selecting the children below, and that makes it a bit quicker. So now we have all of our objects in one fracture object here. Now the next thing I did in the intro to all make them appear and kind of spin around is simply to go to MoGraph, Effector and Plane, and as you can see it jumps up. Now in the effector down here you just want to make sure that position is unchecked, as we don't want to affect that at all, and you want to just go to rotation, and I believe, yeah, it's the P rotation. You just want to move this around. As you can see, we get these very strange, kind of an abstract shape here. It isn't looking quite what we want, and this is because we want to go to fall off, and the shape we want to change to linear. And then you want to change the direction to +X. So now you can see, as it goes along, it kind of builds itself like this. And we just want to change the scale down a bit, and so it isn't all the way along. And so this is the kind of thing we want to begin with. And so I'll just leave this at 0 again. And then the next thing we want to do is go back into the parameters and change the scale to uniform scale and to -1. This way when it comes along and kind of appears and rotates into place. And this is the basics of the intro. Next, what we want to do is go have your fracture object selected, go back to MoGraph, Effector and Random. Again, just turn off the position. And what you want to do is match up the fall off for the plane and random. So just change this to linear, change it to X as well, and then this was scale of 53, so make sure this is 53 as well. And now you want to highlight these two and press Alt G to group them. So now when you move these, they move together. And go back into your random effector, go to rotation, and just give this some random rotation basically. So each one not only appears, but they don't all appear in the exact same rotation. So it has a bit of randomness to it as well. Maybe I've done it a bit too much. Maybe just leave these at about between 0 and 20 maybe. Just so it does mainly rotate around the axis you want it to. So as you can see here, we have the basics of the animation. It all appears and kind of rotates into place. Next one we want to do is just keyframe this null object. So at 0 we want nothing to be appearing, and then maybe at 75 we want everything to be appeared. So now when we play it through, we have the object building itself. The last final touch I did was to go back onto your fracture object, go to mode graph, effector and delay, and just change the mode to spring, and I think I had the strength at about 54. So now when it plays through, as you can see, everything kind of bounces into place rather than just appearing in its place. So it kind of gives just gives a bit more animation to it really. Maybe that's a bit strong, but if I throw it all the way up, you'll see like it bounces a lot into place. So the delay effect is really powerful. I've only really just started using it, but it can get some fantastic results, and this is basically the finished result. It just had some basic camera movements as well, and to get the material in the middle, what you want to do is, well, the Thrausi didn't really work too well, but basically normally when you cut an object up you get two materials down here, and one will be for the inside of the object, one was for the outside, and the material I used to get this kind of red glowy object, as you can see, it's kind of all it was a red material here and a tiny bit of red luminance as well, and that was just turned down a bit. And with the lighting setup, all I had was one softbox on top, and also I had one other softbox around about here, and this made everything look a bit like this. So it's really nice, kind of simple lighting, and I don't believe I used global illumination. It was just a straight render. It didn't take particularly long to render either. It was a very simple kind of thing. I just wanted to kind of play about with the effectors a bit more and see if I could make anything of the Thrausi plugin. It's probably one of the first plugins everyone gets, and they probably don't realise just how powerful it can be when combined with all the effectors. So I hope you learned something. I'll include this project file in the description. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe if you want to see more tutorials. This has been Ian, and thanks for watching.